The Star Citizen universe aspires to be a living, breathing playground where you can indulge your fantasies of traveling between planets, exploring alien cultures, and living your best life in the 30th century. Now, for some, that doesn't mean a happy, sappy kumbaya with everyone around them. For some, it's a chance to live on the shady side of existence, looking for the next opportunity to earn a quick buck while Johnny Law's looking around the other way. For those people, we thought it'd be fun to check in with Jake Muley, who's part of a team establishing the foundations of what's become known internally as the black market economy.
So what is a black market economy? This is actually one of the things that we're trying to solve in 3.6. We've kind of separated black market into two distinct categories. We have illicit goods and we have illegal or stolen goods, right? Illicit goods are things like drugs, things that just simply aren't allowed to be sold because they're against the law to possess. Stolen goods are things that might be legal in a given area, but you've illegally acquired them from somebody else. The difference is that while illicit goods may never be able to be sold in a particular region, stolen goods might still be able to be sold to the right person. We're looking for stolen goods to have a specific kind of shopkeeper that's able, for maybe a little bit less money, to be able to accept something that you might have obtained through questionable means. We're talking things like if your ship explodes and you take that item off of their ship, or if you have a shady mission that you might have gone on. These are where stolen goods might have come from, right? Again, these can be totally legal goods that are acquired through questionable means. The other kind of black market economy is the illicit goods section. And these are things like drugs or commodities that simply aren't allowed to be in the jurisdiction that you happen to be selling them or trading them in. Things like widow, slam, any of the vices that we had that we've been seeing a lot of activity from the latest recent updates with the drugs and the trade routes may now have a little bit of bite to them when the law finds these particular commodities on your ship. We're really looking with the law system in 3.6 to make it so that even possessing these goods is something that will potentially get you into trouble, and increasing the profitability to counteract the risk that you're taking with these new illicit goods. Where these goods are and aren't allowed will actually change depending on what jurisdiction you're in. So just like the government currently, we have a country, a state, and a city, and the city still inherits all the laws of the country and the state that it's in. We're going to see that same kind of activity in 3.6, where the jurisdiction law that you have is going to translate down to different things. So where widow might be illegal in one area and cops will pull you over and give you some really negative, nasty consequences for possessing widow, might not be even a problem in a different jurisdiction, because the different jurisdiction, say Grimhex, might not care about you possessing widow at all. So they're not going to stop you for that. But we really look forward to seeing this kind of change in 3.6.
So far this quarter, we've had a look at spaceships in development every episode. And this week, it's no exception. Because we like spaceships and you like spaceships. In fact, let's just go ahead and say that every episode this quarter will have a spaceship segment in it. And for today, we're going to jump a bit farther down the roadmap and take a look at the current white box progress of the avian dropship that can, the Esperia Prowler.
So earlier today, we actually did a white box review of the Prowler, which is the first stage in the 4-step process that we go through to build the ship. So I kind of want to show you guys what that process is like and how it's looking for the Prowler. So let's take a look. So what you're looking at here in blue, I set up as a blue color so that the designers can easily identify what's interactive. So this back door is going to end up opening, a ramp will come out so that you can climb up into the back of the ship. This ship in particular, since it's a drop ship, has many doors on the sides of it so that players can jump out. And this ship in particular can actually carry a crew of 20 in addition to the pilot and the co-pilot. Let me make this a little transparent so you can actually see how the interior spaces fit within it. So you're seeing here some just temp fog that I put in there. This is just as part of the white box process. We go in there and actually start breaking out the interior spaces and adding effects and things like that. So that way we can kind of get a sense that it's kind of complete from a feature standpoint, and then we'll go in there and finalize everything later on. But you can see here we've got the drop room, which holds a ton of people. We've got this little sort of foyer area right in front of the co-pilot station. Then we've got a second floor where inside here we're actually going to have a lot of the components are going to be accessible in this space. If you have to repair something or if you want to replace an item or something like that, this is the room that it's going to be in, which is right next to the pilot entrance. So the player will end up sitting on this and the seat will rotate, get into position, and this will give you kind of an idea of what the pilot's view is going to be in here. So we're aiming to have as much player view as possible from this position. And obviously we don't have any of the struts built or any of that stuff yet because we haven't gone through the process of building it. But we want to keep the view as clear as possible. It would be pretty cool. This ship in particular actually has some really cool things about it. Like it kind of transforms a little bit, and I can show you in my max scene. So this is actually what I put together. In this max scene, the other thing that we end up doing for White Box is we end up creating a set of temporary animations. So that way we can actually hook all this stuff up and it's entirely usable from the very beginning. So this ship basically uses its main engines also as its VTOL engines to land. On the VTOL engines, you've also got these little wings that stick out. So these are going to be kind of redesigned so that they make a little bit more sense, because currently the position doesn't really block view as much to the players. But the idea here is that characters are going to jump out of the sides of the vehicle, drop to the ground, and while this is landed, these wings here will help sort of protect the people that are jumping out. So kind of like screening fire and stuff like that. This is essentially what we end up doing during the White Box. But it was cool to sort of give you guys a look at what it's kind of like within the first 2 to 3 weeks of working on a brand new ship. This is kind of the process that we go through on every ship. We just make it functional and flyable as early as possible to make sure that we can solve any problems that we see without wasting too much time. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Last week, we began our examination of the upcoming ship customization feature with a look at the ship that's serving as the test bed, the Origin 300 series. Now this week, we've got Vehicle Pipeline Director John Crew here to tell us more about how this whole thing will actually work. Well, not here, he's on teleconference. John, thanks for joining us for our first ISC remote discussion. So we've heard of variants, we've heard of modules, we've heard of components. Right off the bat, I want to put some of the speculation to rest. What does ship customization mean in this world of, let's be honest, already pretty customizable spaceships?
So ship customization is being able to tailor your ship or vehicle that you have or want to sort of make it your own in terms of styling and gameplay, and have that right off the bat. It's not just external paint jobs, it includes internal seat items, different styles of seats, different styles of dashboards, and then in the future being able to have even paint on weapons, so the guns on the outside of your ship match your ship as well. So it's really taking an existing ship and then reflecting your own personality with it.
Now, when all is said and done, we're looking at 2 different kinds of ship customization in the Star Citizen universe. We've got manufacturer and aftermarket. Which one of these are we getting with the upcoming Origin celebration?
So this is manufacturer customization. This is the sort of the Star Citizen equivalent of going to a real world car dealership and looking at getting a new car, being able to pick all the options that go with it, tailor the paint, tailor the stitching on the seats, and so when it's delivered to you, that's what it is. It's not just a stock car that you would get.
So down the line in the game itself, players will be able to take their vehicles to an aftermarket shop and customize with crazier stuff. But for this initial rollout, we're looking at the specific customizations that Origin themselves would offer when you first acquire your ship.
Yeah, Origin, obviously they have a brand. They don't want to come out with sort of flame paint jobs on their vehicles by default, so they don't offer stuff like that. They offer a selection of customization that is tailored to their brand and their style. The aftermarket customization is where you would go to get that style of customization. We have the same material choices available to go on the dashboard and the yoke or the steering wheel. So you can have your dashboard match your seat if you wish, or you can not. You can have completely different ones if that's how you want to have it, which is fine. We have these sort of countertop items that in the initial release have a very sort of minimal level of functionality, but going forwards they will have more, such as the food maker and drinks maker that will tie into the stamina system. So you'll be able to prepare and drink items on board. And then we have the bedding, so there's a big range of bedding which is purely cosmetic, but it allows you to tie in the interior styling of your ship however you want. And then we have external items, such as the weapons and the power plants and coolers. They come in these packages, so it's not a complete mix and match, it's a very tailored package to push that variant's performance in a certain direction rather than the stock version. If you went to a car manufacturer and you go, well, I want to have this engine and this tyre size and these body kits, they often won't let you do that. They go, no, if you want this, you need to have this, and that's very much the take we've done here.
Sports package.
Yes, the sport package, the race package. They're a carefully curated set of items that go together.
Awesome. One more thing before we let you go. We hear a lot about Tier 0 features. Now, this is the Tier 0 of ship customization. What does this do to lay the groundwork for the future?
So this allows us to, Tier 0 by its very nature is a sort of the bare bones set of functionality that we want. It allows us to have the ability to do this from the website, which is something we've never done before, having the website tie into the game files and being able to send data back and forth between the two. So this allows us to do a lot more on the website, which reflects in game, and vice versa. And it also unlocks a lot of really interesting stuff that people have been asking for a long time in terms of being able to do insurance claims on ships. Previously, they would just revert to their stock loadout, which was always the same. No matter what you'd earned in game and adjusted on your ship, it would always go back to what it was before. Now it goes back to what you have selected, so you don't have to go away and re-equip all that stuff. It's all there. And it also allows us in the future to expand the system into bigger and better items. So at the moment it's very much single items being changed, whereas down the line it will be the option to have entire modules changing or entire rooms changing, certainly for the bigger ships.
That all sounds great, John. Of course, for our backers watching, Ship Customization is rolling out as part of our upcoming Origin celebration that's just around the corner. You can look online at robertsspaceindustries.com and Spectrum to see Q&A threads and an FAQ coming up that will answer more of your questions ahead of its launch. John, thanks so much for being here with us.
No problem.
There with us this week. So, what did we learn about this week? We learned that some of those vendor names in Jake's spreadsheets aren't real, but probably should be. The Esperia Prowler makes me want to play the theme from Condor Man and swoop down upon unsuspecting villains. And young people will probably have to Google that. And ship customization is the next step towards making your next shipper vehicle your shipper vehicle. To our subscribers, as with every week, our thanks for making the show possible. And to our backers, don't think you get to escape our thanks either. You make Star Citizen possible, so you get yours. Until next time. I don't need this anymore.
Thanks for watching. For the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42, you can subscribe to our channel, or you can check out some of the other shows, and you can also head to our website at www.robertsspaceindustries.com. Thank you very much for watching.